Now let's talk about the types of rabies vaccinations that can be used and how it should be handled. Only obtain vaccine from approved sources. There are multiple manufacturers with valid licenses. Rabies vaccine are labeled to be effective for either 1 or 3 years. Make sure you check the label on the vaccine you will be using. Rabies vaccine should be kept cold between 35 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit during shipment, handling, and delivery. The package should be intact upon receipt or it should be returned, and it should never be frozen. A refrigerator thermometer should always be in place and checked, and the use of a temperature log will ensure proper storage. The following are scenarios a lay vaccinator might encounter that would require special handling of the rabies vaccine.
Okay, here the rabies vaccine for the Havis Rabies Clinic.
Okay, great. Got the logbook. Let's make sure everything's in the cooler. Got our ice packs. Make sure we have our thermometer, keep the temperature correct.
If transported to an off-site clinic, refrigerators at the site or coolers must be used to keep the vaccine cold. Coolers should have ice packs and thermometers to ensure proper temperatures. Multi-dose vials must be kept cold when in use. Once drawn into a syringe, vaccine is only good for 1 hour. Multiple syringes can be prepared at the site for large clinics, but they must be kept cold and used in 1 hour. A lay vaccinator should consider the following protection when headed out into the field. In case of a needle stick, you should wash the wound with soap and water and report the incident, generally seeking medical help. Make sure you take appropriate animal restraints for small and large dogs, like muzzles, multiple sizes for large and small dogs, and dogs with short muzzles such as pugs, cat muzzles and towels to restrain the cats and some small dogs, and extra leashes. Rabies pre-exposure prophylaxis vaccination for animal control officers, veterinarians, animal health technicians, and others who are working with dogs and cats and who will have a higher risk of exposure to rabid animals. Here are some important steps a lay vaccinator must follow when giving vaccinations. Single-dose vials. Use a new needle and syringe for each animal. Insert a new needle into the vial and draw up the entire contents, 1 milliliter. Small bubbles are okay. Multi-dose vials. Use a new needle and syringe for each animal. Wipe the top of the vial with alcohol and draw up a 1 milliliter dose. Never re-inject unused doses back into the vial. The vial should be discarded if there is a color change or sediment is present. Injecting the animal. Administer according to the manufacturer's guidelines. Most vaccines are administered subcutaneously for both dogs and cats. Give the vaccine in the right rear leg or hip. Step 1. Load the syringe with vaccine and set it close by. Step 2. Find an area of loose skin over the right leg or thigh. Step 3. Gently pinch the skin between your thumb and forefinger. Step 4. Pull the loose skin gently upward and look for a small indentation of skin between your fingers, like a tent with the loose skin. Step 5. Pick up the syringe with your other hand and insert the sterile needle directly into the indentation. Step 6. Keep the needle parallel to the surface of the skin to avoid entering the muscle, going completely through the skin to the other side, or sticking your finger. Step 7. With the needle inserted, pull back on the hub to ensure that no blood enters the needle. If so, try a different location. Step 9. If there's no blood, push the plunger to empty the syringe. Step 10. When the syringe is empty, pull it out along the same line of entry. Step 11. If there is bleeding, use a tissue or cotton ball and apply pressure. Step 12. If for some reason more than a few drops did not go into the animal, start over with a fresh syringe and dose. Now let's talk about how to vaccinate a dog and how to vaccinate dogs of different sizes. What restraint techniques are used? It is important to immobilize the head, muzzle. Another person can provide distraction by tapping on top of the head, rubbing the ears, or providing treats. Large dogs can sit or stand on the floor. The handler should place one arm across the jawline and the other under the belly, close to the back legs. Medium dogs can be on the floor or placed on a table and held in the same manner as a large dog. Small dogs should be held with the handler placing one hand under the dog's chest and one around the side of its head. It should be held close to the body. Dogs that have a lot of hair, such as chows, should be vaccinated where you know you can part the hair to see the skin, and dogs with thin skin, such as Chihuahuas, should be vaccinated using a smaller needle, such as a 25 gauge needle. We all love cats too. Here are some special considerations when vaccinating cats. What restraint techniques are to be used? The least amount of effective restraint is what we should use. Towels can be used in the restraint of cats. In a carrier, remove the top of the carrier. Cats can be vaccinated on the floor, on a table, or while being held. Restraint techniques are similar to those of small dogs. Scruffing or holding a cat by the scruff of the neck should be avoided unless absolutely necessary for the safety of the participants. If possible, vaccinate in an enclosed room in case the cat gets loose. Lay vaccinator paperwork requirements after vaccination. It is important to document the administration of rabies vaccines. The certificate should be completed and a copy given to the animal's owner. When using single-dose vials, the vial sticker can be removed and placed on the certificate. In the absence of a veterinarian, the lay vaccinator may sign and indicate their lay vaccinator number. In the event of a bite or rabies investigation, proof of current vaccination may help prevent an animal being unnecessarily euthanized. Here are some other special situations a lay vaccinator may encounter out in the field. People may request to take syringes home so that they can vaccinate their animals at a later date. Do not do this. Animals with no apparent owner may wander into the clinic area. It's okay to go ahead and vaccinate them if they're approachable. Owners may ask you to come to their house to vaccinate chained or caged animals that they are uncomfortable approaching. Depending on tribal policy, the lay vaccinator might assess the situation and give the vaccine if they feel they are not at risk, or they may tell the owner that the animal should be taken to a veterinarian. Children arrive at the clinics with animals and no parents. Go ahead and vaccinate the animals, ensuring that the children won't get bit. Animals arrive in the back of pickups, and the owners want them vaccinated there. This may be done if the animals can be properly given the vaccinations and restrained. Cats are brought in pillowcases, and the owners do not want to remove them. In this case, you must take very good care to ensure that you're vaccinating just where we need to be in the lower leg. Lay vaccinators may only vaccinate the dogs and cats of tribal members on tribal lands. No exotic pets and no livestock. Here are some steps to follow on how the waste materials generated by giving rabies vaccine or at a rabies vaccine clinic should be disposed of. Contaminated sharps should be discarded as soon as possible into containers that are closable, puncture resistant, leak-proof on sides and bottom, and labeled and/or color-coded. During use, containers should be easily accessible, maintained upright, replaced routinely, and not allowed to overfill. Containers should be closed immediately when removed or replaced. Reusable containers should not be opened, emptied, or cleaned manually. Contents should be incinerated or decontaminated through proper methods. Generally, outside companies take care of sharps container contents. The purpose of the Rabies Control Program, Lay Vaccinator Program, is to ensure availability of rabies vaccination for dogs and cats throughout tribal communities covered by Indian Health Service. The purpose for this video is to add more knowledge to your lay vaccinator skills. Thank you for watching and good luck vaccinating.